Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Ancient Legends Challenge. In the last episode, after setting off in search for another mountain, Lolly made an even more amazing discovery. She managed to stumble into the ports to Whale Island, so we are literally riding on the back of this gigantic whale right now straight through the ocean. Now in case you guys haven't seen Whale Island before, this place is pretty special because the ports are going to allow us to choose what island we want to go to next. So we're basically guaranteed to go to a mountain after this, because we can just choose one of them straight from the ports. So Lolly has quite a bit on her plate right now. We do have a lot to go through before we can get to it, but I'm hoping that we're going to find some more legends in the midst of all this grass. Maybe they would even know a little bit about Whale Island too? I mean, there is actually quite a connection between our ancient legends and the legends that we'll find in here. I know I've mentioned it in this series before, but the developers have said that the bird wings that were added to the game in the last update are technically part of the ancient genes as well. They were just considered to be like an extinct species, but they actually tend to live on Whale Island, and of course in the glaciers too. So there's that subtle connection between these two places, and Lolly is going to be one of the very first to set her feet down. We'll have her go straight to the front of the pack. I'm sure she would want to sniff around in that tall grass, see if there's any other food for them to collect. I know it's going to be hard in the beginning. The savanna areas on the back of the whale aren't very good for food. We do have a normal berry bush over here, but for the most part we're going to find these shriveled up things and these cactus plants too. We'll also have to keep an eye out for the locals. I know the rogue males like to call this place home as well, so we might want to bring her guards up into the grass too. We can have Magic and Croissant kind of flank her. If they go on either side and just widen the path for her, that should hopefully give her the chance to do some safer exploring. The only problem is, since Croissant's attention is going to be just keeping her safe, he's not going to get the chance to talk to her very much. So even though his sights might be set on starting a family with her, he's leaving the space open for someone else to make their move. And we already know who has eyes for our leader. That would definitely be Glacier Paw. They're actually one of the few who are compatible, because we don't have very many males to work with. So let's scoot Glacier Paw up here as well. We'll have him follow too, and the two of them can just sniff around in the grass together. I guess their sights would probably be set on some roots. Hopefully we have some up here that they can dig up together. We'll bring Glacier Paw up this way. Yeah, unfortunately it's looking pretty bare, but I do remember there being quite a few roots that we could dig up over toward the northern parts of Whale Island. Oh, and the stinky fruit trees too. Like, this is something that our tribe probably wouldn't get the chance to see if not for Whale Island. This might even be a good way for us to unlock the person out in the future, and given the mountain's distinct lack of healing fruits, that might be a good thing for us to keep in our back pockets. You know, we don't want to leave Katniss and Rayleigh behind either. Maybe we could have Tara just kind of guide them through the tall grass, because I'm sure that Lolly would be calling. She's kind of taken these two underneath her wing. She's not so much their mother as just like their mentor, I guess. They might even be good candidates for the role of leader in the future, so they really need to push themselves when she's watching. That at least gives Tara something to do too, since she doesn't have any kids to watch after right now. That's probably making her a little bit sad, actually. I wonder if she could keep an eye on Mammoth for us. Like, I know that he's pretty much just going to trail in the shadow of the heat bodies. He does seem to have quite the soft spot for Katniss and Rayleigh. But he is also a little bit spacey, and he does love his berry bushes. So if any bunnies come hopping into the savannah, he's basically going to stay put and just protect his berry bushes. So I guess Tara's going to have to make sure that he doesn't get into too much trouble out here if the other creatures can't come to his aid. Now Bellatrix, on the other hand, she's not going to want to stay on these even pathways. She'll want to go diving into the grass too, probably right by Croissant, just so he can see her skills. We'll have her search out for the bunnies. She was actually pretty good at hiding from them on the last island, so I wouldn't be surprised if she catches the first one. Now it's just down to you, Magic. Let's bring you over here so once again you can just widen that pathway for us. Though with the ever-strong Glacier Paw and his hammer tail right by her side, I don't think Lolly is too much to fear. We'll bring her up here too. Oh, we actually have a little mole over here. It looks like that's probably a good location for one to spawn. Oh, they were probably so excited, thinking this was a route for them. But instead, they found their own permanent nest off in the grasses. Ooh, that's unfortunate timing. So sad, too, because Croissant just found his. He's probably thinking that he's going to ask her tomorrow if she wants to start a family. But unfortunately, he's going to be too late. Did I hear a growl? Did you guys hear that? I don't know if I'm just hearing things, but that sounded suspiciously like a Bergina growl. Well, my little guards, maybe it's time for you guys to do a bit more exploring. Like, we'll still bring Lolly over to her nest. Oh, looks like she's getting a little bit hot too. Oh no. Oh, this island is going to be pretty brutal on you guys, isn't it? Yeah, I figure there is no way that our heat bodies are doing well right now. If poor little Lolly is too hot, oh my gosh, you guys are going to be begging for the relief of the cool mountain air. Well, we might not have any snow to cool you guys down, and unfortunately we can't use the water either, but we could bring them over to one of these shady trees. So I think that's where they're going to set their sights on next. But is that the only shady tree that we have on this entire island? Oh my gosh, that is nowhere near the ports either, so you guys still have quite the journey ahead of you. At least when we break out of the savannah, we won't have to worry about getting through the tall grass anymore. So I think you guys are going to have to leave the berry collecting to Tara. I mean, not that this little berry bush offers very much, but you might as well pick up that single little morsel. Then I suppose we could have Magic maybe guide you out of the tall grass. If she comes over here, you should be able to make your way all the way up to Croissant, and then Katniss can definitely follow. Yeah, let's have them try to make their way around the side of Whale Island as soon as possible, and then I guess, Bellatrix, you're going to have to try to shake them. She doesn't want them interfering with her plans after all, so just sniff around for a moment. No bunnies out there? Nope, it doesn't look like you found any yet. But there is a bunny burrow right next to the tree too. Okay, maybe you can go that way after all. We'll bring you up here and you might be one of the very first creatures to break free from the tall grass. Now you have a couple of little berries to pick over here too, Mammoth. It looks like he's kind of mimicking Tara. Well, go ahead and pick up the grass too so we don't lose track of that. You can pick up the grass over here. And then I guess we're ready to set up Glacier Paw and Lolly's mutation menus. So I think we're going to leave these creatures with the digging trunks. I know that we are missing our saber fangs, but since we do have it in our mutation menu to use, it should be easy enough for us to breed that back into the tribe. So the digging trunk will remain on their family, and I guess it might be a good idea to try to keep the digging paw in there too. That way they can dig up tons and tons of roots once they finally find them. Lolly has the heat body and her inactive traits, but since we actually do have heat bodies in the tribe now, I think we'll just place the big body in there. Like, I know with the savannah heat bearing down on our tribe, it's not going to be the best thing for her, but all the same, since we are going to go to a mountain next, we know what we need to prepare for in the future. Better to weasel that into our tribe now than to scramble later. We'll do the same for Glacier Paw over here. Just pop the big body in his genetics, and I guess the high fertility too. We want to make sure that we're keeping an eye on that, of course. He has one of the high fertility genes, but I don't want to see too many of those low fertilities popping up in their babies. So go ahead and breed with Glacier Paw, and then we'll have him just clear out some of the grass. Since we did hear that strange sound the night before, he's probably feeling very cautious right now. Oh my goodness, and I didn't notice how much food you found, Bellatrix. Maybe we'll have to call Tara up there, since she's one of the few with the double running legs. Oh, she can bring Mammoth up there to enjoy all the berry bushes too. Yeah, I think that's where they're going to head next. So Magic, you might want to clear out a pathway for them. And I guess we'll have Croissant do the same. He's probably tearing through the grasses, trying to figure out where Lolly went. But on the next turn, he's going to see their very first baby. So we should actually be ready to skip the day now. Let's zoom in right on Lolly and see what her first baby is going to look like. Oh, unfortunately, oh, he does have the mask. Oh, I didn't think he did, but it's so similar in color. Oh my gosh, that is adorable. Oh, he looks so majestic. Imagine him against the snow. He does have that swimming tail, which is a little bit unfortunate, but at least he's carrying the hammer tail in his inactive traits, and he has those big majestic horns too. It's also nice to see that he's super healthy. That was the one thing that was causing me to question the relationship between Croissant and Lolly. They could potentially have some sick children, so at least all of these babies are going to be as healthy as can be. So the next name on my list is Avalanche, which is a very fitting name for such a majestic ancient legend. So welcome to our tribe, little one. Now, how many days does Lolly have left on her lifespan? Let's see. She only has 3 more days. Now, her little baby isn't going to be quite old enough to take on the role of leader, and I think she's going to recognize that. She was actually passed the crown quite early in her lifespan too, so maybe she doesn't want her babies to meet the same fate. And knowing that, of course, Katniss and Rayleigh are so capable themselves, despite the heat bearing down on them, I truly do feel like she's going to pass the role of leadership straight to them. So that means she should probably catch up with them sometime soon. We could bring her over here. That way she'll be able to breed with Glacier Paw again. Hopefully anyways, as long as that pesky fertility doesn't get in the way. We could even bring Tara up here to meet the little baby too, since I know that she's going to want to take care of him, just like Dewdrop did for everybody in her generation. Just kind of keeping the role of caretaker as strong as can be, and that gives his parents a little bit of time to kind of commune with the rest of the tribe. Oh, and a little bit of time for Croissant to notice as well. We'll have him clear out the rest of this grass over here, so we can peer over at the nest. And I'm sure he would notice that striking similarity between Avalanche and Lolly. The same fur color, perhaps missing those beautiful creamy markings, but there's no mistaking that this is definitely her son. So our guard is certainly going to be feeling quite dejected right now, but he knows that he still has a job to do, and honestly, just seeing her happy like this is going to have to be enough for him. So as Mammoth picks up the rest of his berries, and then maybe toddles after Tara right in her shadow, we'll have a Magic pick up the rear. We don't want her getting too far away either, and she can hopefully guard Lolly from the other side. Now, you might actually be able to help lead our little heat bodies over to the tree on this turn. Maybe if you skip all the way up here, they can try to play leapfrog ahead of you. Oh, right toward another nest? Well, we're gonna have Lolly have her baby right there then. This will be a much more comfortable place for them to just sit and talk. Oh, if the berries don't get in the way? Who would have thought that a tiny little shriveled up berry bush would cause our creatures so much trouble? Well, Bellatrix, you might actually have to help them around then. I mean, you don't want them getting in the way of all of your bunny collecting, all of your bunny hunting, but if they're struggling to move around, they might be making a little bit too much noise. Actually, if you sneak this way, I wonder if she can smell her first bunny? Yes! Oh, and she found the roots too? This is the perfect place, Bellatrix, but I don't think you're ready to go chasing after the bunny just yet. Let's try to get her in a better location. Yeah, right here, hiding behind the cactus, inside the tall grass. Oh, that little bunny will never know what hit them. He has no idea what's coming for him. Now as Glacier Paw scoops up the rest of the tall grass over here, that way his baby should be able to remove himself from the nest a little bit more easily. I think we're ready to skip the turn again. So the bunny is still high atop his burrow, and there's still nothing out here for us to be concerned with. Like, maybe that sound was something different? Was it the blowhole or something? I swear it sounded just like a growl, but it could have been anything, I suppose. Maybe it was even the bunnies trying to intimidate our tribe. So one more quick sniff around for you, Bellatrix. Nobody out there yet? No new wanderers for us to meet, which is a little bit unfortunate. But we're getting closer to the stumps now, so you guys could probably do some calling of your own. But yeah, Bellatrix, go ahead and pounce right on this bunny. Oh, no wonder he was sitting there. He had a feast over here and everything. Yeah, we definitely need to bring some more able paws over in this direction, because there's plenty of food for you guys to collect. So once more, Mammoth, one more swipe of your berries, then why don't you scoot on up here so you can meet the babies too? Oh my gosh, and with that big body of his, look how gigantic he looks. This little baby is growing at an alarming rate. I guess it must be all of those fresh berries that he's being fed right now. Like, there's certainly no shortage on food, and Tara is probably just, like, spoiling him at this point. Oh no, and I just noticed. Oh, she's getting so close to the end of her lifespan. Oh, who are we going to breed her with? I mean, I guess she could technically breed with Mammoth. That could be a thing. They would have healthy babies. Huh. I wonder if she's considering that right now. We do have this nest right next to her that she could use. It's not as though Avalanche really fits anymore, so we'll have him scoot out of the way. We can bring Glacier Paw up this way. That way he can keep carving out those paths. I'm sure at this point he's just searching for his mate. In fact, let's have you come right up here since your baby's still safe, and Lolly should be able to settle down right inside this nest. Yeah, this is the perfect place for her to talk to the heat-bodied sisters. They have some nice relaxing shade to just bask underneath. They can share the berries together right at the water side, and she can ask them if they would be willing to lead the tribe once the time comes, because she knows that her time is coming to an end very soon. I feel like they would be up for the task. Like, it is quite a bit to ask of two creatures, but they have each other, and they'll probably be raising the tribe side by side. I don't think there's going to be any sibling rivalries here. They seem to work better together as a team, and with those claws of theirs, nothing is going to be standing in their way, even if we do find that mysterious Berryina that I swear I heard before. So we can bring Magic up this way, I suppose? Or even over here? That way she can lead her brother out of the tall grass, and she can see just how depressed the poor guy is. Croissant is just heartbroken. The love of his life has chosen somebody else, and now he has her baby that he has to protect with his own life too. So the poor guy really has a lot of thinking to do. But no matter how sad he might be right now, I still feel like he knows that duty always comes first. So he will make sure that this baby is protected. Now as for you, Tara, I guess that just leaves our mutation menus to set up. And we do have a couple of flaws that we're going to have to keep track of on Mammoth, like those short-sighted eyes. Luckily he has some pretty good fertility, so I guess we don't have to worry about that. And you do have that mysterious heat body in your genetics too. Though what with his spiky body, I would be very, very surprised to see it. Should we maybe try to put those saber fangs in his mutation menu? I mean, I know his family didn't have it, but Tara's family on the other hand, she actually came from Hydra and Tusk, and Tusk was one of the last creatures with the saber fangs as well. So maybe it would be fitting for their babies to have the saber fangs, to finally see the return of the saber fangs again. Yeah, we'll put that into Mammoth's first slot, we'll put that into Tara's too, and then we'll cross our fingers that one of their babies is born with it. Actually, why don't we fill up her entire mutation menu with the saber-toothed fangs to make it even more likely that we'll see it? And then as for Mammoth, we'll put the normal eyesight into his second slot. So go ahead and breed with Mammoth, and then we'll set you up right inside this nest. You should be able to pick up all of the grass around you. And then I think we'll be ready to skip the turn once again. So now we have two babies to meet on this turn. I wonder if we're going to see any wanderers out here too? Like, I'm surprised this place has been so quiet so far, but maybe they're just waiting for our creatures to start singing on top of the tree stumps, especially if they do have those bird genetics on them. Well, this little baby looks quite a bit like her big brother. She has the big body too, and this time she actually has a hammer tail. And it looks like she's also wearing a very, very subtle mask, though it's even harder to see than the last one. Is that the exact same color? Red and brown? Red and basically brown. Okay, that must be why. Yeah, I really can't tell where the mask starts and ends. But the important thing is she has plenty of ancient genes. So as for you, the next name on my list is Florence. Welcome to our tribe, little one. And I think it's time for us to go straight over to the other nest. Oh, I see a beautiful snowy white baby. I'm a little bit nervous to check and see if he has the saber fangs. Yes, he does. Oh, he looks just like a ghost. With a fiery mane on top of his head too. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous is that? He reminds me so much of his grandfather because of the saber fangs alone, but honestly, they are very, very different. Tusk had that dark red fur, the black ram horns. Very similar to his mother, the warlord, actually. And Ronu over here. Oh, he is going to blend in so well with the snow of the mountains. He could probably be an excellent little hunter. Well, the next name on my list for you is Rex. So welcome to our tribe, little one. I can't wait to see what sort of adventures you're going to get up to. I hope he gets to live long enough to actually go to one of the mountains, because I do think that he would be super fun to follow there. So Avalanche, it seems like you have your second gem now, so you should be able to do some more free exploring on your own. He has a digging paw, right? Yep, he has his father's digging paw, so that means he should be able to dig up some of the roots that we found up here. He has quite a ways to travel though, so you might want to skip ahead of all of your cards. We'll bring Magic up here so maybe she could pick up some of these berries for you, and then you should be free to skid around past your family, say hello to your new little sister, as Lolly picks up the grasses. This is going to be her final day, so we might as well just let her stay right next to her baby. I wonder if Katniss should stay here too? Not that she really has much of a choice right now, with all of these berry bushes in the way. Someone is seriously going to have to just cut this thing down. Or maybe even the cactus too, if someone is brave enough to do so. I guess if we used somebody with a big body, maybe that would reduce the damage. They do take damage if they destroy the cactus, right? I know they take damage if they collect from it, but I actually can't remember if they take damage from swiping it down too. I would imagine that they probably do, so we're going to be careful nonetheless. Yeah, this might be a good reason for us to focus our attention on the stinky fruit trees, just so we can heal our creatures if they do get super hurt. Now what about you, Bellatrix? Where did all of your little bunny friends go? We know that no more are going to spawn up here while you're still on their burrows. So where is the next one that you can set your sights on? The closest bunny burrow to the rest of the tribe? I guess that would actually be way over here. Oh, that is a long distance to cover. But let's see if you can discover any new faces along the way. We'll bring her up here. We'll have her sniff around. Oh, there's a little bunny. Wait a second. I guess we'll have to change up your plans a bit. It's kind of like the bunny's leading her straight over to the stumps, actually. Maybe she should try her hand at singing on the next turn. So with the rebirth of the Saber Fangs in this family, I don't think Tara's looking to have another child. I think she just wants to focus all of her love and attention on little Rex. So I suppose we could bring her over here. She can clean up some of the grasses, leaving room for Mammoth to jump in and swipe up some of those berries. He's going to have to go right back to his child's side on the next turn though, because if those bluebirds do decide to swoop in... Then again, can the bluebirds even spawn here? It has been a while since I've been on Whale Island, but I'm not sure if they can follow the whale in the ocean, so maybe he would be okay anyways. As long as the Berryinas don't get to him at least. Now before we end the episode, let's just skip the turn one last time. We'll have Katniss go ahead and gather up the last of the berry on this bush, and then we'll have our sister try her best to claw it up. It's going to take a few tries, I guess. They're not exactly strong enough to take it down in one swing. Who would have thought that one shriveled up berry bush would be so stubborn? It is causing us tremendous trouble over here. I guess we'll have Glacier Paw go ahead and dig up some of the grass too. You can pick this up around all of your kids, so hopefully they can come out and play. And then unfortunately we will be saying goodbye to quite a few members of our tribe. Lolly, of course, our wonderful leader, one of the only creatures who managed to bring our tribes to multiple islands in her lifespan. And I mean, this island itself... Oh my gosh. I think the whale just let out some massive water out of its blowhole. Oh, that's so sweet. It must be because so many of our tribe mates passed. It's almost like he's sending them out with some grand ceremony. And it would be pretty super if all of that water would help give us our berries. Though to be honest, we haven't had too much trouble. I mean, aside from a couple of those pesky rabbits, they haven't really gotten to our supplies yet. So Bellatrix, you are doing an excellent job. Let's bring her over here. She did spook the bunny, but now she should be able to pounce on it easily. And it looks like she'll have a mole to pick up on the next turn. So go ahead and scoop that up, and then we'll see if you can try your hand at mole hunting soon. They're a bit more stationary than the bunnies that you love so much, but they are still pretty tricky to take down, so I think it's still a challenge that she would be interested in. That does mean that she might be a little bit too distracted to actually do any singing on the next turn though, so maybe we're going to have to leave that to one of our other tribe mates. I suppose our new leaders could always give it a try. Maybe that would be their way to send off their leader as well. We could bring Katniss and Rayleigh over to the tree stumps. They can howl out into the open air, and maybe we'll see if they can attract any partners of their own. We still do have quite a few creatures who will need somebody to carry on their bloodlines, so fingers crossed in the next episode, we'll find some brand new members of the family to invite into our fold. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!